Um, we'll be back with you. Hello, Witchy. We'll be back in a minute or two. Um, we still have a few things to do, so just chill out for a few minutes, guys, and we'll be back in a minute. Yeah, we're here. Just all right. There we go. Sorry. We're. Can we get a sound check? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. We've never had any problems, but uh, just for thorough purposes, somebody give us a thumbs up. Let us know if you can hear us. Okay, good. Um, Hi. Um, First off, it's kind of hot in the room in the studio, uh, particularly after we added the sound insulation, the actual stuff to the ceiling instead of just the Finding Nemo blankets and whatnot that you guys saw last time. We'll maybe show you at the end of the stream, but right now I don't want to have to reset everything. But anyway, excuse us. There's the air conditioner duct is like right there, and it's a little warm in here as it is. I know that look. What's up, Chris? Anyway, point is that we may have to run little cooling fan if it gets too much, so we apologize for any noise pollution that we might inadvertently subject you guys to. So forgive us for that, but it's freaking hot. Because you ever have that one room in the house where it's just like it's like at the farthest point from the air conditioner or something, and as a result it gets like the lowest airflow. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's the studio room. But yeah, we're a little wound up, so it's going to take us a minute to step down. So yeah, we apologize for any sound that you might hear. This is just purely off of our cell phone mic. Which isn't bad. It's a Samsung, but it's not our professional Yeti, which we've had like over freaking 20 years. I mean, we bought the damn mic 20 years ago, and it's still one of the top of the lines. Not a Sennheiser or anything, but okay. The stress response cycle is starting to level out a little now. All right, let's see where we're at here. Yeah, we're a little keyed up right now, so forgive us for that. We will settle down. We're starting to recenter. So, Witchy, hello. Blue Rose, hello. Good to see you. Jocelyn, good to see you again. Hello. Let's see. Blue Rose has had a rough month. Yeah, ours hasn't been that great either. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully things are going a little better for you. Dragons, hello, Dragons. Let's see what you're saying. Not too bad. Been a yo-yo of a month for me too. Yeah, amen. Ellie, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oxymoron, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. At least not since last month anyway. We think. We don't know. Anyway, let's see. Ellie's, excuse us, rough month as well. Found you have wisdom teeth that need to be removed, and the pain is getting more and more worse. Next appointment is in 2 weeks. Oh, we remember our wisdom teeth. And you have our undying sympathy because that is nasty. On the plus side, we can tell you that pain will magically vanish the minute that you have those suckers pulled. So hang tough. We understand the amount of pain that brings. And we absolutely... You have our sympathies, Ellie. Hopefully you'll get those yanked out. And, well, while we're on medical things, a bit of an update on our lovely little bone spurs on our right foot. Turns out that after 2 weeks on steroids and being in that stupid boot, we're going to have surgery anyway. So we'll be calling Monday to get that scheduled. They just got back to us with the insurance approval, and we need to call for the appointment. But yeah, we're gonna have to go under the knife, we're afraid, which is yay. So we're not looking forward to that because some of our trauma has, if not medical base, it definitely has a medical aspect to it. they weren't too kind in cleaning you up and making sure that, you were, anyway. Yeah, trigger warning. Okay, so, but yeah, the wisdom teeth suck, so hey. Starry Girl, good to see you. Hello. Let's see, who else do we have? Is it just a green screen, right? Yeah, we have a piece of green felt that we just drape over the camera when we just need to do stuff. Hanu, hi from Finland. Welcome, Hanu. I don't think we've seen you around the stream or the channel before. If you've been there under another name, let us know, because we tend to associate folks with their names that we're familiar with. So anyway, Hanu, welcome. Hi from Finland. Let's see here. There's the sound check. Yep. Caden, hey, good to see you, Caden. Let's see. Starry Girl sound is good. Everybody's good. Let's see. Starry Girl, I know that look. What's up, Chris? Yeah, the look of I am totally okay, but inside screaming your head off from stress. Could tell your energy is low. Sending love. Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to go into it, okay, because it's private and personal, and we're not going to spread our dirty laundry over the air unless it's appropriate to DID, and sometimes even when it's not. This is just it's a personal matter, and we woke up to something that really just put us off and amped us up and got us angry right off the bat, and so we're kind of coming down from that, but it may take a while, because when Bootstraps comes out and is going at full bore, it takes a while to trickle down, the trickle down effect, not so great with economics. Guess what? Trickle down economics doesn't work. Didn't work in the 80s. It's not going to work now. Okay, yeah. Anyway, we're all over the place. So yeah, we're a little stressed at the moment, but it's nothing that we feel comfortable talking about. Not that we don't feel comfortable talking to you. It's just it's private. And again, we're not people to be petty and air our dirty laundry over the air just simply because we can. So anyway, there's that. So if we looked a little bit stressed, there's that, and also because of the pain from the damn foot and having to wear that stupid boot, and also just to deal with the pain, unfortunately, we've had to take some painkillers, which we don't like. I mean, they make you feel all nice and fuzzy and numb, and that's nice, but and everything, but we've mentioned before that in the past, because of our back issues, because of the trauma, that we were on painkillers before we switched to the pot, but then weed was not a legal option at that time. Not that that's really relevant to it or anything, but yeah, we don't like taking opiate-based painkillers, because they had us so far strung out on those things. I don't want to say addicted, because it's like we never took too many, but we don't like them, and we've been on them, and they tend alone to make us a little bit irritable. So that's not helping. And also the fact that let's see, how much do we catch you guys up on before? It's just there's a lot, and posting our last video, the Echoes of Darkness, about the sleep paralysis and whatnot, and even though it was dealing with John in an ancillary manner, it's obvious his trauma that is leaking out. It opened a whole. We poked the hornet's nest, and all the hornets and more after we did the video. It wasn't the video itself that did it, but it was one of these things where A leads to B leads to C, and the next thing you know, we're in VR and virtual reality on Google Earth, revisiting our old neighborhoods to see exactly why it is that we don't even remember walking to school, to junior high, which we were in for 2 years, 3 years, and we don't remember anything about it. And of course, this actually, we're actually going to be doing a show on the uses of virtual reality and how it can actually help and be used in DID and whatnot. But we're not. We're not really doing a scientific study here. It's just us with our VR helmet, but we would appreciate more data. So if there's any of you out there who have VR, Oculus or whatnot, if you're into virtual reality at all, drop us some comments and let us know if you use virtual reality, if you've ever gotten triggered out in VR or had a flashback because of it, or if you feel that it's been of any use to you whatsoever. Basically, where Data is going with it is he wants to look at VR as a possible use as a therapeutic tool. I mean, obviously, we can't recommend, but this is Data, and he just explores everything. So if anybody has VR, just hit us up in the comments if you've noticed anything while you're in VR that might. I mean, we've gotten triggered out a couple times. But anyway, we were on Google Earth flying around in VR, which is great. It's free. And if you do have VR, we highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out. But you can literally go down to like street level anywhere on the face of the earth. So we were checking out our old neighborhood. And of course, this ended up poking the hornets and awakening a whole shitload of a trauma bubble that it's been there for a long time. We were just starting to get into John's traumas when our therapist decided to go. That's another thing, quick update on that. I don't know if we told you last time or not, but we got another email from our therapist. She switched to another company. We called billing. Yeah, we have mentioned this before. We called billing to see if they took our insurance. They said no, but our therapist talked to her supervisor and said, oh, yes, well, I have her assurances that they do. Well, guess what? We get a fucking email. Well, actually, she doesn't even have the decency to notify us via email. She drops a post on her Facebook page saying that, oh, I've gotten a number of questions from clients, blah, 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 blah. They do not take this type of insurance. So we email her back and we're like, gee, maybe we fucking told you this already. Maybe you should try listening. So it's at yet again, for the third time, it was another dead end. She held out that, that false hope. And whether it was, I don't think it was deliberate. It's just through sloppiness. We're going to call it what it is. It's sloppy when your patient is telling you that they've already talked with the insurance department, the billing department, and they say that they don't take it. Gee, maybe they don't take it, and gee, maybe you should listen to the patient who's bothered to do research into the company that you haven't. It's like, what the, but basically at this point, she has done more. She's damaged our system now. We have had to deal with this. The second time was bad enough, and we told her we can't do this a third time. We can't have that hope held out for a third time and then have it snatched away, which is exactly what happened. And we were not polite in our last email to her. In fact, we didn't respond at all after that. It was just basically one of these, are we doing this or not? And she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry, but I'll look into, I'll canvass the opportunities and call around and see if I can get any possibilities for you. And she emails us back and say, after looking around, I've discovered that there are no therapists available that don't have waiting lists for a long time. And every therapist has a waiting list right now. And gee, it's just really hard to find a therapist in the mental health system right now. Did we not tell you that the past 3 times that we've been in contact with you? You would think that a therapist, might actually listen to their ex-client / possible client again. So yeah, that pissed us off in a big way, and we just never responded to the email because it's not even worth responding to. We hit a point where we just will not expend our energy anymore on something. We hit a point where it's like, nope, that's it. So yeah, we made the determination that she's actually done damage with this back and forth with us to our system. So not to put the fine point on it, but read between the lines there, Miss Therapist. Yeah, so there's that. We're going to go ahead and look at some of the chats because we are all over the place. There's still stuff from the month to update you guys on. But yeah, fighting John's trauma, huge trauma bubble beginning to burst under the surface. There's nothing that we can do to fight it. This is probably the darkest one of the, we've already dealt with much of Christopher's trauma, which is way early on. But this is the second period of professional work where essentially we were, there's just no essentially to it. We were prostituted. At a very elite point. Yeah, trigger warning. yeah, anyway, we were prostituted at the kind of event where rich people go to pay to do whatever they want. Whatever they want. And that was the event that broke us, or rather broke Christopher D. and caused John, Jack, and Mimi to appear. All from the same weekend, and it was a weekend. So yeah, we've been dealing with that and using all of our tools and our DBT and everything, but it boils down to the fact that you just have to ride it out. You know it's coming, and if you try to fight it, it's just going to make things 10 times worse. So we're just trying to ride the waves and, deal with it, use all of our tools, because don't have any therapy, don't have a therapist to help us through this. There's no trauma therapist or CSA specialist available for us. So deal with it on your own. Thanks, guys. Previous therapist and whatnot. So there's that. So yeah, we're a little bit on edge. And since we released the video, it's basically been an unrelenting slog of the trauma is trying to push itself up, and we're remembering bits and fragments. And just dots that are being connected from other parts of our lives. Anyway, so that's kind of set us on edge. We're going to go back to the chat, and then we'll catch you up on a couple positive things from this month. So let's see here. Excuse us from clearing our throat. There's a lot of dust and pollen and crap in the air because we've been. It's just that's how it is down here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. And I have cavities as well, so at least talking about their teeth. So hopefully the pain doesn't stay because of those. Honestly, don't know when we were here the last time. Lots of dissociation and time missing during the last month. Hey, oh well, it's okay. Oxymoron. It's getting harder for us to pay attention to those things too, or at least to keep them straight. Okay, let's see here. Next point was only cleaning, then a second cleaning, and then finally the wisdom teeth surgery. So looking at a month of pain, I guess. Ironic. Well, yeah, but once you get them out, the pain's just going to go away. Trust me, it's like light switch type of a thing. So just bear with it. I know it sucks. Sleeping has been so bad because laying down causes a flare up. Yeah, sleep upright in a chair, or like as far forward as you can. Our advice to you: lots of pillows. Let's see here. Witchy beats us to it. How's the plan going? Starry Girl, any news? Witchy, it's going. Okay, Starry Girl responds. Got an interview with a possible new job Tuesday, so fingers crossed. We'll cross them for you as well. Congrats and good luck. We hope you get it, Starry Girl. Caden saying, hey, good to see you again. Sorry about the surgery news. That sucks. It is what it is. About the time that your body hits 50 or the body hits 50, shit starts breaking down, and you just got to deal with it. So, you young folks, exercise. Take good care of your body, because about the time that you hit our age here, you're going to wish that you had if you hadn't. And we're looking at ourselves in the mirror the other day, and we're going, we're fat. And don't bother to defend it or say otherwise. We are heavy. We're overweight. And a large part of that is the medications that we're on, because unfortunately weight is a side effect of that, but we're also dealing with our midnight snacker. We eat a very small meal during the day. Generally breakfast is our smoothie right here, which we're neglecting. So we're eating healthy, but the trouble is the midnight snacker comes in after the rest of us have vacated the body, and we wake up in the morning and we find, like a box of Oreos that's been eaten or something like that. So we've had to literally slim down what's available to this person in the house so that we don't end up as but anyway, yeah, so we're making changes and we need to exercise, and we're not sure why we got off on that. So sorry. So let's see here. Let's see. So yes, good job interview, Caden. We got into that. Starry Girl, hope I wasn't pushing. No, you were fine, Starry Girl. It's do your thing. For any of you folks who are new to the stream, we run this differently. It's not just us blathering onto you. We do enough of that as it is, and we will continue to do that. But this is more of a group forum. Feel free to chat in the chat log and ask each other questions and offer your experiences or tips or tricks or whatever it is. We run it as an open forum rather than that. And let's see, we got about 16. We'll go over the rules real quick, although most of you already know them and can probably recite them verbatim. So here they are. You have the right to your opinion. You have the right to state your opinion. You do not have the right to abuse other people with your opinion. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religions. Don't troll us, because we've been on the internet for a very long time and we will just simply ban you rather than dealing with you. So mind your manners, follow the rules, and we'll be fine. We've only had to ban a handful of trolls and whatnot in the chat log. So those are the rules. Real easy, just basic common sense and courtesy. Okay, so back here, now that we've covered the rules there, so yeah, don't worry about chatting back and forth and all that for those of you who didn't know that already. Okay, so let's see. Ellie's saying we're supposed to be getting on a work study with school, so first money income in a year and a half now, about 12 an hour, 19 hours a week, part-time, still money. Hey, every little bit helps. Let's see. In other news, Starry Girl saying emotions have been all over the place. We hear you there. Let's see. Witchy saying emotions will cause things will because things are changing slowly, but you got this. Yeah, Starry Girl, you'll be processing through a lot as you do this. So yeah. Ellie, we need some fuzzy painkillers. Yeah, they're not that great. Yeah, no. We remember why we mentioned them in the first place, which is because of the trauma bubble and whatnot, and because of the pain. It would be all too easy, and we have the urge to self-medicate right now because we don't want to deal with what's lurking at the darkness and scrabbling at the corners of our mind like a rabid beast, and has been for like the past week and a half, actually, before we made the video. So it wasn't a video that triggered it, but it kind of didn't help. It was just a case of bad timing. What happened basically was we discovered a whole cache of more video recordings and audio recordings that Data had made early on, like this. We've been showing you stuff from 2019 in our, heavy explanatory videos. We always show you a clip to show you what it's like and then explain it afterwards. Well, we discovered an entire trove of stuff that he had recorded from 2020 and just more or less like the whole year there. So we're like, oh, wow, I don't remember this. Well, of course, we don't remember it, the ID. But we were watching it, and there's some stuff that it's like, particularly some stuff with Mimi that just made us suck in our gut. So yeah, lots more stuff coming out of that. So yeah, that's where that came from. But the painkillers, yeah, we've got that strong, and we've talked about this in our episode. We've got the strong urge to self-medicate right now. So it would be all too easy to just take, we're not self-harming or anything, but it would be real easy to use those as a crutch right now. And we're not, because we understand where that trap goes. But yeah, that's yet another reason we don't like having painkillers around, because as we go into in the episode dealing with this, just the basic facts, the substance use and DID, it's because of the stress response cycle and the endogenous opioids, which are mimicked, and the painkillers, the opiate-based painkillers, act on the same brain areas. So it's yeah. Anyway, you see our point, hopefully. Excuse us. So yeah, there's that. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, let's see here. Seems everybody's having a rough, yeah. Thank you, Jocelyn. Having a okay. Dragons is having a rough month there too. Seems to be going around. Sending support to y'all. Thank you. We all support each other. Let's see. Awesome NB person. Hello. Welcome. I don't think that we've seen you around the stream before. Welcome. If you had another name and we're familiar with that, please let us know. Otherwise, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you got the rules and the explanation that this is more of an open forum where you're free to chat back and forth and ask questions rather than just a direct Q&A with us. Okay. Let's see. Oxymoron, rough month here too, but we have good news. Found a therapist. All right. Unfortunately, he's not female, which is a problem for us, but better than nothing. Yeah, Oxy, we have that same issue. Yeah, the idea of a male therapist, it's difficult on us for many, many reasons. So yeah, we suspect also on you for some of the same. So we feel you there. But therapist, yay, good job. Okay, even for my memory blanks, it sounds like it could help. Okay, oxymoron. See, part of the problem is that we're jabbering and then we catch up on the chat log and it's like, okay, what were they commenting on? We do our best. So if we miss something, let us know. Yes, people saying glad they have a therapist. Let's see. Blue Rose, we used VR once, but got triggered so heavy we didn't go back in and are kind of scared to do so. A lot of it depends upon what game or program you're running. It's very realistic, though. So, yeah, it's not for everyone. Our wife can't do VR, but it's more because of a inner ear. She has trouble with her ears and always has, so her balance is not the best. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Oxymoron talking more about their therapist. Sucks big time. We're so sorry. Baffles me how. Thank you guys about how some people are just completely unaware of things, especially in their own field. Oh, we were talking about our therapist. Yeah. Well, she originally left the service that we were with. It's just her problem is this. It's the grass is always greener things. What she needs to do is just simply open her own private practice. But it's anyway, that's all we want to get into there. It's like great that you want to, improve your life, get a better job and whatnot. Just don't jerk us around on a chain while you do it, saying, oh, I can be your therapist again. Oh, no, sorry. They don't take that insurance, and round and round and round. So, like we said. So, yeah, it sucks, but that's how it is. But, yeah, you would think that they would listen. I get that we're mentally ill and everything, but... Let's see here. Blue Rose needs to find a new therapist too. Big falling out with Eris in regards to how she treated us. Good for you for standing up for yourselves. Hi, E. E. White. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for saying hello there. Hi, E. White. Welcome. Another one that I don't think we're familiar with you, maybe or not. There's like almost 2,000 of you now, and we're to try really hard to keep up with who's who and everything, but. Okay, let's see here. Awesome MB person says we've actually been looking for a therapist for a long time and haven't been to get one. They won't respond, but they never get back to us on their availability. Yeah, we hear you. Let's see. Talking about how difficult it is to get a therapist. Yes, absolutely. It's insane right now. It was bad enough before, but then COVID hit and all the NTs started to freak out. It's like, if cabin fever were the only thing that we had to deal with, it's like, ironically, for trauma victims, COVID was a great thing. Hey, we don't have to go out in public as much. But unfortunately, it's gutted the mental health system, like worldwide. So yeah, let's see here. It's okay, Ellie, if you have to step away. Alicia, hello, good to see you. Sucks to do. Okay, more about therapists. Dragon saying they're waiting to hear from housing, live with their mom currently, and her husband is homophobic and transphobic, which makes life very difficult. Yeah. We're sorry about that. Oh yes, happy update. From those of you who caught our or have watched the incoming rant when bigotry comes knocking about our daughter and that one. If you haven't, we're not going to go back into it right now, other than to update you guys. If you're interested and want some context, go back and watch that. TLDR is our daughter is LGBTQ. Not exactly sure where she falls along that spectrum, but that's okay. She identifies as female. Yeah, we get mixed up in here, so we're just going to let that go. Anyway, she found a young person. Their parents are very much anti like that as well. They had a sleepover over here. They got making out, gave each other some hickeys. They busted into our house basically uninvited one day and decided basically to out our daughter to us. Anyway, and as the update, we unfortunately said young person, they reacted exactly the way that we thought that they would. You know, not allowed to see each other anymore, not allowed over there, she's not allowed over here, no contact, no phone or emails or whatnot. They locked her down and everything, and which was unfortunate, you know. So here's my daughter hanging, and there's no way to communicate with said person. So we went, hey guys, why don't you go old school, as in really old school, and write letters to each other, which of course brings up the problem with letter arriving at parents' house and whatnot. And how do you get around that? Well, let's turn to the bard. Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, apropos, correct? So for about the past 2 weeks or so before school started we were playing, they would write letters to each other, and we would play nursemaid. Because daughter knew where other person worked and was able to drop off said notes in a surreptitious manner. So we drove back and forth, playing nursemaid from Romeo and Juliet, helping to pass the messages along for this illicit love affair type thing. So they were able to remain in contact with each other. So yay, thanks to Gen X and old school and the Bard, they were able to stay in contact by writing letters. And then, of course, they discovered that, gee, a letter has a much more personal impact, and you literally physically have something there of the person, their handwriting, their thoughts that you can hang on to. It's a physical, tangible thing. So I think that was a new experience for at least our daughter. And, so yay for us, yay for Shakespeare, yay for the situation. They were able to have contact. They share a class in school, and they're able to see each other on campus, all out of the eyes of Mr. and Mrs. Bigot. So yay for that. Happy resolution to bad thing that happened at the beginning of the month. So that's our bright spot for it. So yay, there's that, and we kind of feel good about that. Okay, so let's catch up here. But yeah, dragons, we feel you, and we feel you. I mean, we're not ourselves, but we've had to play both roles for our lovely little mommies and daddies, and just basically, if you can imagine it, yeah. Anyway, trigger warning, don't want to go back into that. So while we're not directly LGBT, and we were brought up in an era of extreme bigotry, and brainwashing as far as that goes, DID kind of broadens your perspective. But anyway, the point is, we get it as far as we can. And we totally support our daughter in that, obviously. Anyway, we're kind of scattered, so sorry. Okay, so folks sending positive energy to Dragon. Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for that. Ellie's saying their therapist is female, and she's so amazing, open-minded, and everything, including spiritual stuff, gender, sexuality. I can talk to her, talk about anything to her. Nothing is bad. Good. That's the kind of therapist you need. A lot of people don't realize that, in fact, you're the one basically that sets the course of the therapy. It's not up to them to slap you down with a 12-step course, or at least not the good ones. It's more of a dialogue thing. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't what we expected, but we also know that not everyone is going to have the same experience. Okay, so let's see here. Awesome NB person. Hopefully things go well, Dragons. Completely understand with having homophobic and transphobic parents. They're actually starting college soon, so they'll be away from their family soon in a couple weeks. Grats. Welcome to the next big fishy pool. Have fun in college, but stay focused. It's stay focused. But anyway. Okay, here, DID dad is kicking in. Anyway. Let's see here. Witchy thought they had their first therapy session beginning of the month, but when I got there, it's just a checkup with a GP while I'm still on a waiting list. We're sorry. At least you're on a waiting list. Let's see. Ellie's saying the thing they hate with therapy is constant need to talk about doubt and denial without going into anything that's irrelevant to what really needs to happen. Trauma doesn't lie. Remember that, but we do get it, because it's fighting against that is very tough. It's very tough. Because you're programmed to keep coming back to it. It's become part of your cycle and part of who you are and part of your psyche. So yeah, it's tough to break. So we get you, Ellie. Therapist is on BetterHelp and been told it's not the best place, but we like her and she's helpful. We've avoided the apps just simply because there's really no quality control there. I don't know. Maybe it's just us not putting down, get your therapy wherever you can, obviously. Okay, dragons have a male therapist who turns out is also a pastor. Both things triggered us, but he was the only option, and he's been amazing. He calls our abusers bad names. Good for him. If he's one of these that can keep religion out of it, good for him. That's professionalism. Personal beliefs should not impact your work with other people, in our humble opinion. Other than doubt and denial, talks about daily life, and this is Ellie, and stress that comes up, but if nothing bad or positive, then it falls back to doubt and denial. Yeah, because that's the pattern that's been ingrained in you, Ellie. Oxymoron is saying, especially at the moment, denial is a big thing for me. Let's see. Ellie's saying there's a live stream on Zoom I'm going to in an hour and feel like such an imposter, but was told it's fine that I joined. Well, yeah, just sit there and soak up the info. So yay, good for you. Yeah, old school rocks. Okay, now we're up to the letter S. So I'm so glad they're able to keep in communication. It's so sad their parents aren't supportive. Yeah, and they're an interracial couple. You would think that was one of the things that blew my mind. I mean, it's just, would they not understand the stigma behind here? I mean, you would think that alone would give them some insight into that boggles our mind there. You would think there would be some insight or common ground or something where they could go, oh, we understand how it feels to be looked down on and repressed and whatnot. We had to fight against that stigma, right? Not so much, I guess. I'm sorry, we were all over the place today, like I said. So yeah, they were able to keep in communication. It's going to be hard for us. Good for them. Glad you found a workaround. Well, it's just like, boom, idea. What's wrong with writing a letter? Nobody thinks about it in this age of modern communication. It's like letter writing was kind of an art, and it's went by the wayside. But anyway, yay for us. See, Gen X people do have relevance from time to time. Okay, let's see here. So, Oxymoron, I'm having some trouble following the stream and chatting at the same time. Sorry for not responding to something. Maybe we're missing parts. Don't worry about it. You're not required to pay attention to us all the time. We're going to blabber on anyway. You guys talk amongst yourselves, give tips, focus your attention where you can. Let's see. Caden saying, being a queer adult, it's okay to not get it. It's about supporting like you are and want to your kid. Yeah. Which he's saying, I get that, Chris. I don't trust the apps either. Yeah, there's just something that seems a little sketch about that to us. But again, here we are, we're Gen X, and you guys are like used to this kind of thing. Maybe we're a little more leery because we grew up with the tech and we're more that old school handsy on thing. I don't know. Who knows where the thoughts come from? At least we're aware that, anyway. Yeah. Blue Rose is saying, taken us some time to realize that we may direct the therapy. It became clear our therapist was working towards integration while we don't see that as the main goal. Yeah. The ones that you do seem to find, they seem to be all favor and full of fusion or integration or whatnot, and it's like, guys, do you not realize that just based off the science alone, the current understanding that this may not be possible for a lot of systems, just simply by the nature of how it happens, and that functional multiplicity is the best that you may be able to shoot for. You have to set your goalposts according to where you're at. This is one of the most frustrating things, and this is why we stick to the current hard science that we can find, and we are constantly researching it so that we can know not only for ourselves but provide you with at least the most cutting edge. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but at least, hey, we're trying to get the info out there for you. And yes, science is an ever-changing, evolving thing. This is how we learn things, but we have to have basic facts in order to base everything else on. Yeah, anyway, if we had a freaking thought, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, integration. So yeah, it's like integration's not going to work for everybody. Final fusion is not going to work for everybody. It may not even be possible. For us, it's not. Functional multiplicity, that's the best we're going to get. But yeah, they seem to be more towards the integration. I don't know. At least they're dealing with it now. Small steps, I suppose. Let's see. Caden saying therapy, including apps, is hard for me because trying to unpack things while still at home is just not in the cards. Yeah, I mean, it's like, how the hell are we supposed to process our trauma by ourselves if without somebody there? It's yeah, we get what you're saying. There, Caden. So, Caden, that's a mood. Yeah. Therapist is more towards wanting us to get communication more and working through the way I am, okay, and believe in spiritual stuff, but don't believe in being a system. Really, it's okay. She can believe in WTF. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yeah, the unpacking things teletherapy is only 30 minutes. Yeah, exactly, which is barely gives you enough time to center yourself and deal with and talk about what you just dealt with that morning. It's like shit. Our therapy sessions were 2 hours, and that barely was enough time. Yeah. Oh, let's see. So I bring up one thing, and then suddenly, hey, let's plan a date for next week and close the session now. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Stargirl saying, Ellie, the stigma sucks, and I'll say it myself, trauma doesn't lie. I know that's hard to believe, but it's really true. Yeah, and that is if there is one thing and one message that we're glad that was passed on to us, that we're glad that we have passed on to you guys, is that trauma doesn't lie. If you have the symptoms of the trauma, you've got the trauma. And trauma won't lie to you. Your trauma can't lie to you. So it gives a hard fact, something that you will bang your head against time and time and time and time again, but you will still keep hitting that fact. Trauma doesn't lie. And yeah, it's uncomfortable coming to accept that, because you have to accept that you have the trauma, which of course we're, naturally disinclined to do. But yeah, our therapist was good for us. Okay, don't get us wrong. Didn't end that great, but she was very helpful to us, and she was a good therapist for the time that we had her. And that was the one thing that she said to us, that we have used as a bulwark against a lot of the self-doubt and the guilt, blame, shame spiral. Every time that we get thinking about, oh, it wasn't that bad, they couldn't have done that, we stop and we go, trauma doesn't lie. Then why do we have all these symptoms? Why do we have DID? Why were we diagnosed with this by professionals? And again, we were lucky. We fell into the lap more or less of somebody who knew about DID, who knew about trauma, and had the wherewithal to diagnose us. We got lucky, yay us. That doesn't put anybody else's experiences down. We know that you guys struggle. You may not be able to find anybody. We are the exception on this rather than the rule. And that doesn't devalue anybody else's experience. We're just saying this is how it is for us, which is why we pass these things along to you, because you may not have the benefit. And if it speaks to you, great. If it doesn't, great. That's cool too. And we're not sure if we had a point. Again, sorry about that. But yeah, trauma doesn't lie. You got to have something to base everything else on, At least we do. Okay, unpacking things at home. The dragon's saying unpacking things at home is hard. We have phone appointments. Our dour mom has come in while we were in therapy because she could hear what we were saying to see who we were talking to. Jesus, no privacy. Let's see. Ellie, so trauma in the brain is constantly trying to get me to avoid opening the system up, because if they start communicating, that means we have to access memories as well as therapy. Yes, you're going to have to deal with the trauma. And everything inside of you has been programmed and says, and the whole way that the amygdala has sectioned those off and they became EPs is so that you don't have to deal with the trauma. So yeah, don't cut yourself some slack there, Ellie. Let's see here. Caden's saying, Ellie, wow, we were doing like 50-minute segments, and that still wasn't long enough, especially when we're not allowed internally to actually talk about our dissociation or switches directly. Lisa, hello, welcome. Let's see, Ellie Katsuni, yeah, max 40 minutes for a session, considering doing 2 sessions a week. Yeah, but I mean, that's so teeny a slice of time. do anything. Let's see, Oxymore and Ellie, same kind of thing here. And about the trauma doesn't lie thing, I can totally come to the conclusion that there is no trauma and I have just a vivid fantasy. Yeah, no, sorry, Oxymore. Doesn't work that way. The physical symptoms can't lie to you. The biology of it can't lie to you. You can't fantasize these symptoms, and a lot of them can't be faked. Having sleep paralysis, having nightmares at night, having somatic memories, having the feeling of somebody on your back, well, guess what? There's got to be a reason for that. And it's not because your blood sugar is low or any other goddamn thing. It's because something happened to you that your brain could not deal with, that has stuck away and has now begun to leak out. Yeah, but we do feel you, because the denial is a very hard thing. And then after you deal with that comes the guilt, blame, shame spiral, which we're picking our way through. It's a battle. It's a continual battle. Boy, we're preachy today. Okay, let's see here. Caden Knight, it's like center yourself, warm up to the disclosure, read the therapist's reactions, and then it's over and you have to do it all over again the next week or 2 weeks or something. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Ellie saying yes, and the huge anxiety spike we get about a half hour before the video call and then feeling sick before we start talking. I usually want to come to session with an idea of what to talk about. That was one of the frustrating things for us, is it's like, okay, where do we go? You know, it's like, let's see, do we want to do heavy trauma work today, or did we just want to talk about this? And it's, but unfortunately for us, it's trauma came out when the trauma wanted to come out. But now, of course, if we have the littles come out with a big, huge piece of trauma, we have nobody there to recenter us and help us. We just basically have ourselves. So we're not happy about that. Again, see Rant Ray, the trauma bubble that we're currently working through, which is why we're not fighting it, because we know that it's going to be bad enough when it does hit, and it's trickling through now. And we've known that this was like the darkest area where we've got the most trauma that happened to us when we were older. It wasn't all of it, but this was the huge black gaping hole other than Christopher's stuff in our life, and we've known that we were going to have to address it sooner or later. We just simply thought that we were going to have support in doing so. Yeah, we're still pissed at our therapist, but anyway. Let's see here. So yeah, Ellie, we get you. Denial is powerful. Don't fear. Caden saying oxymoron, totally get that. Oh, I made it up in my head and basically hurt my own feelings real bad. Nope. Awesome NB person. Yeah, that's why we're looking for a therapist in person. Of course, we want a therapist, but we know eventually we'll have to work through our trauma, which is especially hard with all the denial. Yeah, your brain's going to want to do anything it can to avoid it. Your whole life it's been doing that. And then suddenly it starts shoving this shit into your subconscious and your conscious, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, thanks, amygdala. Let's see. And the way your system is, especially since you were polyfragmented. Hello, another polyfragmented system. Awesome NB. Welcome. Isn't being polyfragmented fun? Alterception. Yeah. Wolfer, welcome. Good to see you. Don't think we've seen you around. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Kick back and enjoy. You've probably found out by now our streams don't generally run the way that other streams do. It's an open forum. Everybody can ask questions, talk back and forth. So just be polite, keep things in mind, and that's about it. Let's see. It's Stu Wolfer. So yeah, welcome. Somatic memories. If we could get rid of just one symptom, it would be those. Yeah, we're really tired of feeling people's hands on us in places where nobody's hand should be. You know, the touch on the shoulder, or the feeling of somebody right up against your back, or hands on your ankle, and we'll stop right there because we're getting into trigger warning territory. So yeah, somatic memories are not fun. Blue Rose says us too, Wolfer. Caden and I, oh yeah, the choice of old trauma work or new trauma work is always fun. Unpack old stuff or deal with current events. Yeah, exactly. Ellie's saying, don't like wasting the money of sessions is why I don't like empty sessions of talking about little issues for 30 minutes. Yeah, exactly, because it's 55 a session, so I think 220 a month. Damn, our old therapist charged us, well, when we were seeing her privately, she charged us 60 for 2 hours. Well, hour and a half, but so, ow. And even that still bit and was expensive, but gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see, but ouch, damn, Ellie. Let's see, Blue Rose or the Night Terrors. We'd take that one too. Oh, to have a decent night's sleep would be so good. Hence, yet another reason why we don't like to take the narcotics, because it's all too easy to just want to surrender yourself to the sweet embrace of fuzzy, comfortable darkness sleeping inside of a teddy bear. No, we're not talking self-harming or, suicide type crap. Just, it's that need to escape, to get the hell away from it, to have one stinking night where you get some, you're not woken up by some trauma bit or an episode of sleep paralysis or a nightmare or something like that, or somebody switching in and deciding to have their trauma in the middle of your dream. You guys ever had that? It's where you switch in the middle of your dreams? Well, or you're all there. Yeah, you want to mind screw try those. Okay, so let's see here. We had one where Christopher got triggered out in the middle of the dream hardcore, and then all of a sudden there we all are, not in one body, but all of us individually standing around him giving us a hug. So we have all of our parts giving ourselves a hug in our dream state, which is actually a trauma memory. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see here. So, yeah, alterception system, polyfragments. Let's see here. Sorry, catching up here. The night terrors. Yeah, decent sleep would be good. Lisa Bauer. Oh, okay, sorry, Lisa. I think we skipped someplace. I'm not sure where. So we're going to take them in order. Yeah, to have any. Okay, Blue Rose. Dragons is saying they have problems telling their therapist when they have memories or flashbacks because they don't want to burden them like it burdens us. That's his job, to burden them. Okay, Lisa wants to know, how is polyfragmented different than regular fragmentation? Polyfragments mean that one alter has split into other alters. For example, there's me, the core, and then you had Christopher, Susie, blank, Christopher D, who then became Jack, John, Jack, and Mimi in that order because of that one thing. So you had an alter that then split into other alters because they were fronting the most at that particular time that the trauma happened. So it's a regular split would just be simply me, the core, splitting, say, into Christopher or into Data or any of those others. So that's the difference. That's why we call it alterception, which, as far as we know, I don't know if we coined that phrase or whatnot, but it fits. So yeah, that's polyfragmentation versus regular. Hope that answers your question. Let's see, Wolfer saying, thank you, watch your channel for a while, but we work nights, so don't normally catch these. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate that. And for popping in to say hi. Naomi, hello. Sorry for being late. Don't worry about it. Has it been an hour already? Whew. Okay, let's see here. Ellie says, oh, recently, at least one nightmare of stepdad being in the dream, but it was like he was all nice and stuff. Don't know why the brain showed us that. Yeah, we get that. Just kind of let it wash over you. We're not sure exactly how to address that because we're kind of going through something very similar right now. Yeah, but we feel you, mood. Yeah, it's like it's a trauma dream, but it's not, and so you're expecting the shoe to fall, but it doesn't, and you wake up with this really weird discombobulated. Yeah. Let's see, Dragon, systems within systems, so alters can have a system of their own. Yeah, exactly. Caden Knight, sleep paralysis and random periods of being unable to move, even while awake and doing other stuff. Would love to get rid of those. Yeah, we don't have them where we can't move, but we will dissociate where we're just literally sitting there staring at a spot on the wall or just staring at something and then all of a sudden, I'm back. Very discombobulating. Like we said in the last video that we were talking. Hello, Chocho. Cat, train of thought, gone. Let's see here. But yeah, let's see. Circadian, hello, good to see you. Let's see, Blue Rose, yeah, we don't take medications for the same reason. Yeah, exactly. It's too, I mean, take your psych meds, obviously, if you have a doctor and have been prescribed them. But yeah, that's why we avoid narcotics. That's, I mean, we've got a lot of built-in aversions because of the trauma. We're already exposed to a lot of the harder drugs. God only knows what the hell they drugged us with. There's a reason why John and Christopher D, or I'm sorry, John and Christopher will not touch apple juice to save their lives. No apple juice, because that's how they drugged us, them. They put something in it. And anyway, moving right along. You know, just enough to keep us awake and responsive, but you know, enough to kind of, you know, make us compliant. So enough to, yeah. Anyways, trigger warnings. Sorry. So yeah, Blue Rose, we're glad you understand. Oxymoron, feeling a lot like you, Chris. Some big shit memories are surfacing. I am so afraid of them, and that comes with it. Our therapist being a male makes it very hard to talk about it. Yeah. Fist bump, hard mood. We get you. At some point, you just kind of feel like you're hanging out there, and you're the only one. Yeah. We feel you, Oxy. We feel you. Let's see, Elio, the amazing thing to help with mouth stuff is cold compresses. Such a blessing. We will have to remember that. Naomi, to be honest, I have a trauma-versary in July, so we're sorry, Naomi. Well, we had one too, beginning of the month, but yeah, anyway, no, middle, sorry. But yeah, trauma-versaries suck. Trauma-versaries really suck. Okay, let's see. Caden is saying, dream switches. No, thanks. No, thank you. No, hate those. So you have had one. Yeah, that was a real mind. It's like when we're standing there looking at each other going, wow, this is a new one. Well, okay, let's comfort the child here who is freaked out and withdrawing back into the black void. Which fortunately we were able to too, but yeah, man, the DID will take your brain to places that you never even thought possible. Literally, we should not be able to perceive or think in the way that we do, but you know, hey, trauma, damaged brain, what do you expect? So yeah, dream switches suck. Wolfer, it causes vertigo for us when we switch mid-dream. Odd feeling, honestly. I don't think it causes vertigo for us. That's interesting. We get the feeling of falling a lot, but again, like our last video, it's tied very specifically to that one trauma memory, as in we don't experience the fear of falling or anything in any other dream. That's why we know that this is trauma memories bubbling and surfacing, because we've had that particular dream for a very long time, well before we were ever diagnosed or even had an idea. And it said the details are always exactly the same. The feelings are always exactly the same. The sensations are always exactly the same. And there's about 4 or 5 of which that's one that we have had repeatedly, which we now know are directly tied to the trauma. It's trauma crap bubbling its way up. So yeah. Yeah, it's Let's see here. Ellie's saying, yeah, those weird abuser dreams, where he's being nice and making Brain be like, nah, he was not that mean or bad to me. We can totally get in contact again and be fine. Yeah. Yeah, not so much. Um, Blue Rose is saying to Naomi, those can be so hard. We have one coming up early August, dreading it already. Yeah. And you start to wind up before the trauma anniversary. And it's so hard to. Now here's one that we had to clue into this. I think it was last Christmas, and we talked about it before, but it bears mentioning again. Is that you have patterns that are already in place, and for us, we didn't even know that we were doing this, but in anticipation of that of the trauma of an argument or something bad happen, because you start winding up and you're winding up and you're winding up inside because you're expecting that incident, that abuse to happen again, because your body and your mind has become conditioned to accept it, that when it doesn't happen, i.e., for those of you who are still not living at home with your abuser, us, for example, just our example, when it doesn't happen, your brain is still looking to close that loop, the stress response cycle. Become angry, have confrontation, it's resolved, and then it's released. And we didn't even realize we were doing this until last Christmas. We were sitting out there, and all of a sudden we just started realizing that with that, we had started to get gruff with our wife early in the morning. It was just you get this feeling where everything irritates you. And we were starting to fall into that, and we recognized that we were starting to have a trauma reaction, so it's like we knew enough to go outside and take our cup of tea and try to clear our heads and just get recentered. Well, what we didn't realize is that we were looking to close that loop, to have that confrontation. And apparently this was something that our therapist had told our wife beforehand, and had probably told us, but there's just so much to unpack. We're afraid to go back and listen to some of the therapy sessions. It's like, for example, we know that we've got John on tape. Or at least audio. We don't think video, but we know that we have audio sessions of when he's been out, and it's just, we know it's going to be gut-wrenching. We know it's going to be gut-wrenching. So we're kind of avoiding that right now. If any of your comments are delayed showing up, it's because YouTube just increased their moderation filters. So we're having to approve some of them one by one, but don't worry about it. We'll get to. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, the weird abuser dreams. It's like, let's see, and Traumaversaries. Let's see, dream switches suck. An awesome NB person. Yeah, dream switches suck, or when we're all there for some reason, or at least most of us. Yeah, it was really weird. First time that ever happened to us. Because we always see it's not from here's the weird part. Our dreams are not, they're from a first person perspective, but it's more we're here at the same time, but we're not. I mean, it's bizarre. It's like we're not looking at our body, but we're somehow removed. Anyway. So yeah, that was the first time that we'd actually been separate as a group. It's like, okay, in real life we can't be separate, but in the dream world, all of a sudden we were all there, and it was really weird to be separate like that. Anyway, but Christopher was the more important thing, and soothing him and getting us all out of that trauma dream was the most important thing than for us to stand there and go, dude, hey, it's like, so yeah. Let's see here. This be the verse. Hello, welcome. Hi, we hope life's going as smoothly or as minimally fucked up as it can be for everyone. More the latter, I think, than it seems to have been a rough month for everybody. Versus go ahead and rewatch the front of the stream to catch up on us. We're all over the place today. But we do update on the month and the stuff that went on with us, and what happened with our daughter, and that whole mishkala, that happened at the beginning. Anyway, so yes, Versus, good to see you. Yeah, hi Versus, laugh out loud, minimally fucked up, right back at you. You got it. Very appreciated. Okay, this be the verse. Very appreciated. Blue Rose, minimally fucked up, attained with some incredibly consistent everyday therapy, hard work. It's been a busy month. Yes, good for you. Good for therapy. This be the verse. Okay, dragons have to get food. Be right back. Take your time. Take a break as you need. Self-care, all of that. Their Majesty, should have missed so much of the stream. Don't worry about it. We still got another hour to go. Um, just go back and rewatch the first hour if you're really bored afterwards. Oh, yeah, and keep in mind, guys, on all of the live streams, the live chat logs, for whatever reason, will not show up until we're just going to say the next day. We can't see any of the comments. You guys can't see any of the trash. For whatever reason, it takes YouTube forever to get the chat logs like linked to the live streams. So we recommend waiting a day before you watch them, just so you'll be able to keep track with the chat log, since we do so much back and forth and whatnot. Anyway, there's that. We've noticed it. It's nothing that we have any control over whatsoever, but YouTube does that. There's actually a lot that turns out, as a creator, you have very little control at all over certain things. So there's that, for what it's worth and mentioning. Yes, we're so sorry I'm being bitched at. There. Okay. Let's see here. Hope Foods, Delicious Dragons. Okay, Lisa Bauer saying, their friend who has the idea went through a lot of trauma therapy. She even confronted her abuser, who apologized. It makes me gag. Yeah. One of those, got something stuck in my throat. Let me cough this person out. She couldn't press charges because it happened when she was 3. Yeah, like with us. Okay, how can someone process trauma without some justice? Don't know. We wish we could tell you. Because almost without exception, all of our abusers are dead or in prison, and we can't, the statute of limitations, and plus there's, it's like, how do you produce evidence for a rape that happened when you were 1 to 3 years of age? And, it's just, there's nothing there. I mean, the database for missing and exploited children didn't even exist back then. How would we do that? It's only through ancillary means that we found out. I mean, crap. The pair of it's just, when we were about Christopher D territory, let's just call it that, a little bit previous. You see, there is a blank between Susie and Christopher D. That's we still don't know. There's more crap in there. That was right around the time when we tried to burn ourselves to death in 3 separate incidents of fires. One setting a shed on fire while we were in it, and then we set carpets on fire, just sitting there again. Twice more after that. So there was obviously something seriously wrong with us. Now, of course, we know why. And this is when we were 6. Maybe. So yeah, there's I don't know where we were going with that. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's like, how do we get justice on that? How do we get justice on that? Well, you don't. You just have to learn to live with it. Hi, Chocho. Meow. 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 Fine. Give us a sec. All right, come here. Hip hop. I'm not going to leave it open for long, because I'm not going to let all the air conditioning out. So if you're going to hop outside, go do so. Cat. Anyway. So yeah, how do you get justice? You don't, or at least we're not going to be able to. But yeah, I like how you put apology in quotes. It's even. This is one of the main sources of frustration for us. Is egg donor is still alive, or at least as far as we know. We check the obituaries every year or so just to simply see if she's cacked yet. And but it's like, how do you? We're never going to get anything out of her. We're never going to get any acknowledgement. We're never going to get an apology. She apologized once in our entire life, and it wasn't for anything that actually needed an apology. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, we're not going to get any validation out of her, any closure out of her. It's just, even if she believed us, then it would immediately become a thing for her to center on. It would immediately, we have to, I'll take, I don't want to get into it. So it's her psychology. But yeah, Lisa, we feel you. Um, Good question. We wish we could answer that for you. And in the end, this is the unfair part, because not only do we have to deal with the after effects, we have to deal with reliving it, so we get re-traumatized all over again, and then we never get any closure out of it. And these are all burdens because of the trauma bonding that we have to deal with, while they can just go la 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 la. But yeah, we have fantasies of going over there some night and saying, stand there and shut up, because we got some stuff to say and we've got some questions to ask, and just don't even talk. But we know it would be an ultimately self-defeating conversation. We would not. She's the type where you give her a millimeter and she's going to take 3 miles, and it'll be all about her. So yeah, that's why we cut her out, and we did that before we even knew that we were a system, just from the sheer toxicity of past baggage that wasn't even trauma related. Sometimes you're just better off without some people. So yeah, Lisa, we feel you, and we feel your friend. Let's see here. Caden saying, I get what you mean about the weird first, third person dream state. Okay, good, because it's tough to describe. Starry Girl, we get all perspectives when we sleep all at once. It's weird. Yeah. Lisa, it's hard. It's really hard. Ellie's saying, dreams is me being first person and doing things, but also seeing what I'm looking like from the outside at the same time. But awareness doesn't care, just going through all the movements as if life. Yeah, sounds similar. We have had system dreams where I was third person, as well as connected to 5 people at the same time, seeing through all of their eyes. I guess they were alters. Yes. Profoundly strange experience, isn't it? Human brain not meant to do things like that. Okay, so let's see here. This be the verse. We try to reframe what justice can encompass because it's really fucked up and unfair that so many abusers don't receive the consequences they deserve. Personally, it helps us a little to see that as we recover and gain connectivity with our emotions and each other, we gain access to a fulfilling, connected, authentic, vibrant life, because we're able to do the work and get to know ourselves. And our abusers, being unable to do that, live a husk of an existence as a hollow cretin, with no self-awareness. Well spoken. We're not disagreeing in any way, shape, or form. Well spoken. That sums it up very nicely. Very nicely. Witchy, I'm going to try to get back into keeping a journal. Yeah, we've been nagging ourselves about that, but I had my journal invaded and stolen when I was a teen, but it wasn't only stolen, it was read and then used against me. Witchy, make yourself a private YouTube channel just for you. Upload the stuff there, private the account. That way only you have access to it. Good way to get around that. Okay, Blue Rose. Lisa, we have trouble with the whole concept of justice, with what it is, what it means, and such. We just want to feel a little better. Amen. This will be the verse. Okay. Sorry, girl. Breathe, Chris. Please take it easy. Don't worry. You guys don't see us. What you see a lot is the emotional constant. You're seeing us on a good day. You're not seeing us when we're bouncing off the walls or raging or something like that. And it's not that we don't want to be real. It's just we have a very specific focus of how we want to deal with it, and what we want to show and what we don't want to show. And maybe it's a completely arbitrary line, but we have this set line of what we consider to be exploitive and what's not. If we feel that we have a personal experience, and we know, this is why the videos that we show you, the clips from our videos, are so impactful and gut-wrenching. We know we go right for the stomach on these issues, because these are the things that are worth talking about. There are a lot of other channels, and don't get me wrong, to each their own. Systems are as individual, but they choose to focus on the brighter, cheerier, more aspects of it, and that's great. That's great. If you want to share every single stinking last detail on social media about what you're doing or thinking or eating that day, be my guest. That's cool. And maybe that's just part of, being a younger person nowadays. But for us, it's kind of like, no. Is it something that we could do? Yes, if we didn't care about the kind of just blah. So yeah, our messages are more intense, but they are more intense because they are specifically targeted. It's substance, not fluff. So yeah, we know that we show shit that kicks you in the gut. Part of that's deliberate. Part of it is just simply because that's the way the trauma is. And if you want a real representation of DID and how trauma impacts it, and again, we're not ones for comparative trauma. It's easy for you guys to look at us and go, oh my God, their trauma is so bad, I couldn't deal with that. You're discounting your own trauma. It's not the types of trauma. Well, I mean, it is, but it's trauma is trauma is trauma. We look at it from the perspective of, again, hard science. Trauma impacts these changes on the brain. Types of trauma may vary from system to system, but the trauma, the effects are all the same virtually. There are some baselines there. So that's where we're coming from on that. But yeah, we don't show everything because we're private. Part of that is because of the abuse. Part of it is tact. And part of it is just we are not going to fill the channel with fluff. That's not what we're here for. Would filling the channel with fluff and getting on social media gain us thousands more subscribers? Probably, which would afford us a larger audience. But essentially that would be, forgive us, whoring ourselves out, whoring our condition out in order to just get subs or views. And even though that would enable our hard messages to reach a larger audience, we don't want to do it that way. Because that completely undercuts, and this is just our principles. We're trying to explain where we're coming from on it. And maybe it's a generational divide thing. Maybe it's just a personal line, a personal preference thing, but that's where we're at with it. And again, if we had a point, we're not sure what the hell it was, but there's our thought. So yeah, let's see. This be the verse. And much raging and grieving for how fucking useless the justice system is on top. That's how we try to heal and cope with it. But we did file a report, but same issue. It's so long ago. Good for you for being willing to file the report. If we could screw our abusers to the wall, if we could conclusively prove, oh yeah, in a cold flat second. But there's no forensic evidence there. That's it's not there, and we have to deal with that. We've had to come to terms with the fact that we will never get justice. So there it is, which is, again, one of the things that provides the driving force behind why we do the show or the channel. So yes. Blue Rose, Kitty, Cat is trying to help. Yeah, no, Cat wants to go out. Yeah. Cat was actually responding to yours. That's funny. If any of you out there, I don't know if you've played Stray yet or if you're gamers, check it out. It's a great game. Oh my God, Stray was awesome. Not terribly long, and there's a couple of really annoying past parts where you just have to do the same section over and over and over again until you get it right, which we really despise in video games. We think it's sloppy development on the part of the creators, but Stray is an awesome game and well worth playing. Well worth playing. It's a great game. And we can tell you, no, the cat does not die, and there's no spoiler for that. He'll probably die like thousands of times as you're playing the game, but the storyline does not have the cat die at the end. So there's that. So yeah, play Stray. Let's see. Some cats are empathetic. Some cats just want to go out. Yeah, I hear you. Well, he's currently sitting in the open window at the moment, just looking at the birds. La, 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 la. It's like, yeah, whatever. He's a window sitter. So yeah. Mark, hey, good to see you, Mark. Welcome. Hope your conference, it should have happened by now if memory serves, but our memory is completely effed. We hope that went well for you. Your video was well received. You had a lot of great points in there, very informative. 5 pieces of 9. Hello, sorry you're late. Best wishes to all. Don't worry about it. We still got about 40 minutes left on the stream, so at least you're not coming in at the very end. We always feel so bad when we're closing the stream and then you guys pop in. Everybody's saying hello. Lisa Brown meant to say it started at 3, but anyway, I hope the abusers burn in hell. Oh, did I say that out loud? It's okay. When exactly did we decide that it was inappropriate to say things like that are justified? Just because, it's like, should we all strive to be a better person and, to hold ourselves above that kind of thing and not succumb to our petty influences? Yeah, as a general rule, but you know what? Sometimes there are some things that just, it's okay to be angry about that, and it's okay to verbalize things like that where things are just wrong. Because holding our tongues and not dealing with the bad things will means that they stay in the darkness, and we end up with society like it is right now. But that's also a self. You're limiting yourself. You're limiting your own right to be angry. Do you have a right to take it out on another person? No, absolutely not, because that means you're just as bad as the person. But do you have a right to be angry? Do you have a right to express it in an honest, open, and healthy manner? Yeah, absolutely. Don't deny your own feelings. Anger is an action emotion. When you're pissed, you want to do something about it. So by stuffing it down, you're short-circuiting your own natural response cycle. So it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be outraged. The line is when you take it out on another person and attempt to impose your point of view on them. But otherwise, yeah, you're entitled, Lisa. You go right ahead and say that part out loud. Okay, everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Let's see, this will be the verse. Chris, sending rage at that bitch in solidarity with you. You deserved so much better. Thank you. Yeah, we did. And the really sick parts that we haven't even really addressed on the channel is that we were bound to the hip. We were in a very much unhealthy, codependent relationship with a donor, and she could do no wrong. Mother was sacrosanct. Mother was sacred. And we know now that was because that was what had been programmed into us, that we had been made into a nice little good, bright, shiny, intelligent, talented boy toy trophy child for her to show off. And that was the only interest that she ever truly had in us, was as a possession, was as something to go, I made this. This is mine. You know, and we didn't even know. We did not even know. And the more that we find out about it, and the more that we realize just how insidious it was, and particularly in light of everything else, you know, when did she know? Was she in on it from the beginning? But basically it boils down to the complacency is complicity. If you see it, you're in it. If you hear it, you're a part of it, and you have a responsibility to speak up if it's wrong. When did we begin? When exactly did it become politically incorrect to stand up for what's right? It's like, and we're gonna mention one more thing before we close out this topic of conversation. Sometimes you have to say something. Sometimes you have to speak out because it's the right thing to do, but it's not necessarily the popular thing to do. And this is why we made videos on there's you guys who are our long-term viewers know that we did videos addressing other systems and some of the things that they were doing, and we keep our noses out of this, but in this case they were going against basic facts, basic things like child pornography exists and is wrong. Putting pure chaos out on the internet for impressionable people and just simply showing all of your trauma and using it to spurge all of your destructive behavior over the internet when you have suggestible people watching you. And that's wrong. And we stand by what we say. And we stand by those times when we stand up and we say no. And that's why we leave those videos up. And that's why we will never take down any video where we say that. We will leave them up because we stand by our words. May it come back to bite us later and make us look uncomfortable when somebody says, oh, you said this there? Yeah. Oh, well. So anyway, that's got on a bit of a rant there. It's a ranty kind of a day. So, yeah, but this be the verse. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. And breathe, everyone. Okay, so you came right in at the right time, Mark. Yes, Cloud or whomever. Let's see, Ellie, these streams tend to feel like a huge group therapy session and takes a lot of spoons to get through, but so much good information to take away from it. Yeah, and we know that we're intense. Mark, I just had to chat with a dear friend and her adult child about their issue. Sounds like DID having been dismissed ever since the child was 13. It's not normal to have other names depending. I am saddened by our medical industry and its inability to care for people holistically. Amen. That was basically a large part of what the first part of the stream was about. Let's see here. 5 pieces of 9. Chris, you don't know how validating you are when you say that some don't show the fluffy stuff just when we're wondering if we're getting too dark. No, it's you're welcome. We're pretty blunt about what we believe and what we say, and we're pretty much we're binary. We're black and white. We understand that. We get nuance, but there are certain things where we will not shift from our opinion, and we will be understanding and we will be supportive up to a certain point, but we're not going to bend or change our viewpoint just simply to make ourselves less or more popular. There has to be a line, and this is where we're at. These are the hills that we choose to stick our flag in, and these are the hills that we'll choose to die on. And there are very few of them, but there are some. So we're glad that you get the validation. 5, and it's not that we're setting out to be the dark DID channel. It's just nobody else has been dealing with this kind of stuff in a realistic manner. So we went, hey, if you guys can make some sense and get some validation out of our huge pile of shit and abuse that has been our life and our voyage through DID, so much the better. A lot of you guys were like, oh, it's so brave of you to turn right around after being diagnosed and begin shouting this to the void. Maybe we don't see it as that way. We see it as this might help somebody, and if we don't, we're going to turn this crap in and on ourselves and just simply go, if we don't express it in some way. So actually, in some way, you guys are therapy for us, and in that way, because we can talk to you about some of these things that we would normally keep inside. We are a very opinionated bunch of people in here, and having opinions isn't popular anymore. It's much easier to make everything all fluffy and la 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 la. That ain't us. So yeah, we're glad that you're getting validation. But 5 Cloud Alien, do your thing and don't worry about what people think, if you see what we're saying, kind of. Anyway, yeah. Blue Rose, we respect and appreciate your choices about your channel. Thank you. This be the verse. Got a busy month, so we're going to head off. Take care, self-care, get some rest, drink water. Awesome to see everyone. Hope for a smooth month for you all. Take care. Thank you. This be the verse. You too. Be safe out there. 5 pieces 9. We won't get justice ever either. Witchy, really off topic, but did you watch the video of me in that program, Chris? What did you, or whoever watched it, think? Laugh out loud. If you're talking about the kids one, the first one that you sent us over Instagram, yeah, we watched that one. We thought we replied to you on that, or did you send us another one? We're not sure. We'll have to check. It's been nuts lately, but we'll go back and check on that and get back to you next live stream. Okay, also meant to be person. Medical system is so messed up. We didn't get diagnosed until very recently when we've been talking about things like we were 7 and 8, and everyone just assumed we're faking since we're such a covert system. Yeah. Starry girl, cute cat sitting in a window, getting all the sun and sounds of the outdoors. Yep. And letting in the heat. Let's see here. Naomi, go to bed. Yes. Get some sleep. Sorry, but need to go. It's okay. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip side. Rest. Breathe through the traumaversary, and we're there with you. Okay, not alone. Okay, Blue was on a telly program as a kid, and I said, yeah, okay. Let's see, Naomi, short reminder that each and every one of you is valid, strong enough, loved, and deserving of respect and compassion. Lots of love and support from the singlet. Thank you, Naomi. Now go sleep. Yeah, go again. You guys are telling you the same thing. 5 pieces 9, same trophy child here as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blue Rose. Okay, like that. See that little witchy. The stand buyer that does nothing is just as bad. Yes, complacency is complicit. Yeah. Sorry, girl, you were the forgotten kid. Didn't matter what we did, we were overlooked and alone. Yeah, now see, we were the one constantly shoved into the spotlight and expected to be the perfect child. And then, yeah, so we would get into personal stuff there, but yeah, we get it. Let's see here. Lisa, oh, that punched me in the gut. Complacency is complicity. That is truth. Yes. Sorry, can definitely relate to that. We too. And being oxymoron sucks so much. Sorry you've had similar experiences. Yeah. Let's see. Circadian Anarchist, were you asked by anyone to remove those videos of the CP does not exist BS? No. No, we have not. And we have not ever gotten anybody to comment on that from either that channel no longer exists at all, but from the other people that were ancillary to it. No, we've never gotten a comment on that whatsoever. The other one, we got sent a bunch of flying monkeys and basically went, and weathered the storm. And that was the end of it. And that whole situation there self-destructed, and that channel is no longer on YouTube other than just a few playlists and whatnot. So yeah, are we going to take those down even though the situations have resolved? No, because we said it and we stand by it and it's still there, and there it is. But no, excellent question though, Circadian. No, I was never asked by anyone to remove that. And why would we? We laid it out point by point and case by case. Sorry, but we disagree. There are certain fundamental truths. No, let's just run them out. Taking or drawing pictures of children in pornographic things is wrong. It's wrong. And don't hand me your maps bullshit, because that's called a pedophile. So yeah, we'll stop there before we start to get ranty again. Let's see, Mark says, I tend to rant easily about the U.S. healthcare system since I lost both my mother and one of my sons because of a lack of affordable access to medical services. We feel you. Our first wife, who died, unfortunately, as a result of her medical complications and whatnot, we were constantly advocating for her. And every time we had to take her to the ER, this is this and this and that. Have you read her file? Are you aware of the fact that she's a type 1 diabetic? Are you aware of the fact that she's on, that her kidneys do not produce urine, and so giving her a catheter in order to try to get a urine sample would be a bad idea and would just simply introduce another infection or UTI on top of everything else that she's fighting right now. Maybe this will be a bad idea. Maybe if you read the chart first rather than just following rote. So we were always in there being very aggressive as far as their care and very advocacy, and we are that way with our own to a certain extent, although we are really bad about self-neglect in the healthcare area, and we will delay and delay and delay until we absolutely have to do something. Again, because part of our trauma, medical base, but yeah, we get you, Mark. And we're sorry about your son and your mother. We're sorry. We lost our first wife because of that bullshit, and it shattered us. There's your trigger. So yeah, let's see here. Kate and I will watch the rest later. We're going to go ahead and feed the kiddos. Care and strength to everyone. Stay safe. Chris, thank you all for the stream. It does feel good to have this group therapy session. You're welcome, Caden. Yeah, go take care of adulty stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, let's see. Witchy. Oh, many replies. Memory fart. If you have, I think I've still got it there. We can post it with your permission on our Instagram, maybe. Anyway, we'll try to make a memory note of it. Okay, let's see here. So, good night, Caden. Yeah, absolutely. Cotton Candy and friends. Hi, Chris. We love you. Thank you very much. Hi, welcome, Cotton Candy. We're very ranty, and it's been one of those kind of streams today. So, yeah, rewatch if you're really interested in it. Blue Rose, Trophy Kid here, too. Yeah. Circadian, of course. Okay, I was just curious. The way you talked about made me suspicious that someone was asking that. No, and we've kind of expected that, particularly since the channel and the ancillary one was of substantial size and still is. But that other channel never chose to even mention or say anything about it, and they may not even know about it. It's not like we tried to hide it or anything, but if you're not looking for it, it's not going to be there. And that was early on, and yeah, we kind of stuck our flag in it, but it's like, I'm sorry, this is wrong. Child pornography exists, and no matter what you try to call it by any other name, it's still child porn, and you were drawing child porn, and that's how it is. And yeah, trying to redefine the terms, nah, I'm sorry, but as somebody who was forced into child porn and did things that you can't even possibly conceive of and had shit done to us, yeah, no, it exists. But no, nobody's ever addressed it. And if they do in the future, we'll just give them exactly the same response that we just gave all of you. No, stand up there because we said it, it's true, and we stand by it. There it is. So yeah. Yeah, great question, Circadian. Absolutely. Let's see. Nice to see your system again. Hope you're all doing well. Please keep up the good work. Anderson System, welcome. Hello. Good to see you too. Thank you. We're just trugging along doing our things. Let's see here. Circadian can also be argued that pedophile is a wrong word, as phile means love. I've seen people use the word pedosadist, which is definitely more correct. Yeah, see, okay, we get you, but, and warning, we're about to rant again. Okay, yes, phile or philia actually means love. Okay, if we want to go back to the actual Latin there, because we studied Latin. So yes, you are correct, but here's the but. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? This is not a hair that needs to be split, and we're talking generally not at you, so don't take this as directed at you. You make a perfectly valid point. However, it's those little squibbly valid points and slapping a label on everything and going, oh, well, this word means this, and that word means this, and if we put an asterisk in instead of the A in the word rape, suddenly it'll make it acceptable, and everybody won't know exactly what we're talking about, and the poor people won't get triggered out there. Okay? We have sympathy. Everyone's experience is valid. Okay? It happened to you, it's valid. But all of that hair splitting is just simply distracting from the central issue. If you are sexually attracted to children, there's something wrong with you. And like it or not, it is a precursor to further behavior. Okay, there's a direct correlation. There have been many studies done that show there is a direct correlation and there is an escalating behavior cycle. These people, these apologists and the actual pedophiles themselves, okay, have a book. They will literally pass around copies of a book that describes with cutesy, lovely little children's book illustrations exactly how to groom and abuse a child. It's wrong. I don't give a shit if philia means love. I don't give a shit whatever you want to call it. You want to call it petting a blue kitty cat under a green moon? Dandy. But it's still pedophilia. It's still abuse. And don't hand us this, oh, well, the age of consent varies, blah, 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 blah. A child can't consent, period. We were never offered the ability to consent, and we weren't put in a situation where even if we had said no, it would have made a damn bit of difference. This is a violation, it is a rape, and that's what it's at. If you're looking at that kind of thing, I don't care. It's wrong. Wrong. Period. That's where we're at. You don't like it? Talk to somebody else about it. Because we were abused horrendously. And right now, there are children out there this second who are undergoing exactly the same things that happened to us. And it goes on and on and on. And part of what contributes to that is this splitting hairs and trying to minimize something that is horrendous. This is why we're not on Twitter, because we can't stomach that kind of crap. because it's being danced around and justified, and oh well, you're judging the maps, and they're not actually pedophiles, and they're just sexually attracted to children. What the actual fuck? Rant over. Now we'll see how many people we've alienated. So yeah, circadian, not coming down on you, but you touched on a point that, yeah. Five Pieces of Nine, is it us, or does it seem that like about 75% of the system channels that were here a couple of years ago are no longer here? Yeah. Funny that. And here we are, quietly plugging along. Maybe because we didn't court controversy for controversy's sake, and we actually care about our viewers and want to pass along solid information and actually help people rather than exploit them with our content for the almighty ad revenue. And let me tell you what, boys and girls, just speaking purely off of that, YouTube don't pay shit. Anybody who thinks that, you get 3,000-4,000 subscribers, all of a sudden you're making bank, You want to see the real of it? We'll post our frickin' analytics. Not that we look at them, because this isn't about the money. Never was. But yeah, anyway. Okay, let's see here. But yeah, 5, we've noticed the same thing, and there's a reason for that. And if you want to trace it back, it goes all the way back to the whole Anthony Padilla thing and all the shit that happened around that time with Trisha Paytas. And that's all we're going to say about that, because we all know that can of worms, and we ain't going to go into opening it here because, frankly, it's just not that important. Except for what we just said. Okay, so Lisa Brower, CP is disgusting. Yes, no excuse. Awesome NB person, not just you. Seems like all the channels from a couple of years ago are disappearing or aren't active anymore. Anderson system, we agree it's totally freaking sick. 5 Pieces of 9, exactly. My point as well about file. The definition truly doesn't define, nor do they ever do anything that was even close to love. Yes, absolutely. Except maybe self-love. This is us. Wish we could stay in chat. We have our landlord here doing a walkthrough, and we are in complete chaos emotionally, so probably not the best company today. It's okay. Enjoy, friends. Hope to chat soon. This is us. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Self-care. Go do your things. Do your adulting. Okay? Thank you. Okay, Lisa Brow, the reason for fragmenting is usually from being sexually abused as a child, so how can they justify it? It makes no sense. It is obviously wrong. It is one of the primary reasons. Yes, Lisa, you are absolutely correct. However, it is not the only reason, which is something that we keep repeating and stressing, because while DID is caused by sexual, emotional, and physical abuse, it can be caused by all of those or any combination of them, or just simply being caught in a war zone, deprivation of human needs, being constantly exposed to violence. You could be in a loving, supportive family environment, but if you're over someplace like in Ukraine right now, and Russia is continually bombing the crap out of your village, and you see your home blowing up, you see your neighbors, blown to bits in front of you, you don't know where you're going to live, you don't know if you're going to have food for the next day, your parents are scrabbling desperately to keep you alive and keep themselves alive, that's going to be enough. That's trauma. Repeated severe trauma over the course of time, which can cause the child to split. So yeah, it's not always sexual, it's not always emotional, it's not always physical, it could be either of those, it could be not. Yeah, see, DID, again, this is why we don't do comparative trauma. We deal with the effects that the trauma has had. So yeah, it's easy to get caught into, and we're not saying that you do this, but it's real easy for DID representation to become about the abuse and the trauma, the abusive mother, and this, and oh, this guy was beaten as a child, he was raped as a child, she was beaten, she was raped. It's not all about that. This is why we try to deal with just the facts, ma'am. Joe Friday. For those of you who remember that, are old enough to remember that. So yeah, let's see. Damn, we're ranty today. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it is wrong, Lisa. And no matter how you want to slice it or what word you want to slap on it, it's wrong. There are certain basic truths, and that's one of them. Okay, let's see here. Circadian says, yeah, I get it and agree. Yeah. 5 Piece of 9, you're entitled to rant due to the damage that has been done to us. Yeah, Blue Rose, we're with you on this. Thank you, guys. Spindle just got here, and now I'm thinking, do you think there is a therapeutic help out there for pedophiles, mainly non-offenders or people who realize that they have those thoughts or feelings? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Get your asses into therapy. Be honest. Tell your therapist or the mental health professionals that you have these feelings, that you and that you're concerned about it. If you're not concerned about it, you should be. Yeah, absolutely. What you're asking is, do we believe / I believe that there is such a thing as an untreatable condition? No, any condition is treatable. The efficacy of the treatment is what's really in question. Do I believe they can be treated? Yes. Do I believe that they're going to be cured? That's a matter of medical and psychological and other debate that we are not qualified to have. We can give you our own opinions on it, but we can't give you actual facts on it because that would require research and whatnot. And to be honest, that whole area just simply disgusts us to our core. But we do understand what you're saying there. So do we believe that therapeutic help out? Yes, for non-offenders and whatnot. Yeah, there's help out there. But the question is whether or not they're going to be willing to actually do it and admit that. So yeah, that's it. I hope that answers your question. We always answer as honestly as we possibly can. Let's see, Witchy, I really only follow you on here and Fragmented Psyche on TikTok and Twitch. I miss Entropy System. So do we, to be honest. We get why they left during that whole period of Michala. They saw the shitstorm that was coming and decided to step out. And I know there's more stuff that goes in there, but yeah, they made the right choice for their system. Let's see, Spindle, I always wonder, like, it's disgusting, it's sick, but for some cases there has to be a reason, right? A mental reason. I'm thinking mainly of treatment and prevention. Again, we're not qualified to give you any answers on that or really to discuss that. I'm sure that there are imbalances. There could be hormonal imbalances. There could be underlying trauma for them that's boiling up and making them feel these things. Who knows? But yeah, it's maybe there's not a reason. Again, we're not qualified for that. Let's see, in our country, there are programs for these people, Spindle. Got it. Trauma of all kinds. Yeah, again, it's easy to focus in on the sexual and the emotional and the physical abuse. Because it is prevalent, and it's our minds will immediately go to the most traumatic thing and seize on it and go, oh my God, that's so bad. But in the meantime, we're stepping over all of the other things. You know, I'm not devaluing any. You see what we're saying. So yeah. Spindle saying I definitely wouldn't want them around children, but that's a bit of hope for those who can be helped. Yeah, and it's not that we don't want them help. They need help. Let's just be honest about it and don't try to hide it behind some, oh, yeah, anyway. Okay, so Ellie's saying, okay, time for Zoom meeting. Thank you for all the talks here. See you next month. Hopefully all our mouth stuff is done by then and system stuff will be more on track. Stay strong out there, Ellie. You're not alone. Okay, you're strong. You're loved. You're not, or love strong, not alone. See, we can't even keep our catchphrase straight today. But yeah, take care. And yeah, definitely with the teeth. You'll feel much better. Trust you. Trust us, yes, and trust you. Let's see here. These conversation places should be for the kiddly fiddlers, not the LGBTQA. Yeah, agree. And this is one of the things why it's like in Boys Cry 2, we address right off the bat the myth of the gay man. You know, it's like, oh, most pedophiles are gay men or gay people wanting to abuse little kids. No, as a matter of fact, the one member of our abuser's family who did not abuse us was flagrantly homosexual in the 80s, early 80s. He was the only one out of the entire family that we trusted. All the others identified as purely straight, including our stepfather, who may not have been responsible for all of our abuse, but certainly pimped us out and didn't mind helping himself to the preconditioned broken child for his own little fantasies. Hello, Mimi. Spindle, because of course my instant reactions to any type of pedo discussion is to get stabby, but I know that isn't rational. No, it's not, but then the whole thing isn't rational, so why do we think ourselves bad when we have an irrational reaction to an irrational thing? But yeah, anyway, yeah, same here. Spindle, also on a different note, did you put up more shelves? Very balanced. Well, yes. Actually, what we did was we had one of the top shelves actually collapse off the wall and take out 2/3 of the others on the way down, and a couple of the knickknacks that we'd had up there, which really irritates us because one of them was a piece of vintage crockery that our grandmother had for ages and ages. So now it's sitting in the drawer and shatters, and we have to attempt to super glue it back together. But anyway, as a result, we realized that after the last live stream that you guys aren't seeing the entire wall. So why we had all of the shelves and whatnot neatly arranged for the entire wall, you guys aren't actually seeing that, and that we needed to condense it more. So when we were hanging them back up, we decided to make things much more compact. So all the same elements, but just bring it in more within the view frame for you guys. So yeah, that's you're the first person to comment on the changes. Thank you for that. So yeah, it was kind of a oops, 3 for 1. Well, let's take the advantage to condense things to give you guys a better backdrop and not so much of this gray wall. Although we picked that deliberately to make, colors pop more. Well, lack of color, since we tend to be very monotone, lots of black, lots of gray, lots of white. But anyway. So yeah, new/rearranged. Blue Rose is saying, well, Spindle, it's kind of rational. Yeah, exactly. P is saying, there are some people who I cannot make myself understand. Hi, I've been watching. Hello, Pia. Good to see you. Yeah, intense conversation today. Let's see. Spindle just makes my sin crawl that there's so many kids who need help and it's happening. I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. No child deserves that. It gets me every time. Yes, which is why it's okay to feel enraged about it, because it's wrong and we're supposed to get angry about things that are wrong and want to make them right. It's called basic morality, which is what you're supposed to teach your child, not abuse them. Yeah. Circadians, well, to get stabby is rational in a way. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, are you done with the window? I'm going to close it back up now. Thank you. Okay, so okay. Spindle saying, oh no, I'm sorry, hope you can salvage or repurpose it. It is what it is. The real heartbreak was the other family heirloom of, anyway. Look up Roseville pottery. Yeah, and unfortunately we had a 15-inch vase that she had that came from her aunt, which we carefully kept and safeguarded, and during a particularly difficult period here at the house, we decided to take off the shelf because we didn't trust something not to happen to it, and we stuck it in the back part of our closet and nice and safe in the corner. And just the day before we were getting ready to take it back out and put it back on the shelf, because that situation had resolved, our cat decided to go bounding through the closet and tipped it over, and it didn't shatter, but it basically broke in half. And that's about a $500 vase, because it was one of the rarer ones, so we have it stuck up on, but it was the sentimental value, not the monetary value, because we tend to cling to things that were our grandparents because they were the only safe, loving, constant, safe, did we mention safe environment that we had? So we tend to be clinging onto those parts of our past. I mean, yeah, they're just things, but still there's emotional ties. So that one just sickened us, and we set it back up there and turned it so that we wouldn't have to see the broken parts, and we've just basically been ignoring it in the hopes that maybe someday we can either replace it or get it fixed. So yeah, we weren't happy about the other thing being broken either, but that we think we can salvage with super glue. We've learned a lot of good tricks about how to restore things like that. We're very crafty and do-it-ourselfers, so we're hopeful that we can restore it to where at least we can display it, which is all it was. Anyway, but yeah, unfortunately, it was like, I did that stupid pause thing again. Well, let's see. Circadian takes a lot of effort to force yourself to have empathy for a child abuser. Yeah, this is why we can never be a public defender. We've worked in the legal system. We've worked in law enforcement, not as a cop, but there's many levels to law enforcement, and we had to deal with these types of people on an everyday basis before we knew what we were. Fun. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of empathy, and we still don't, and we won't. Okay, so let's see here. Dragons or Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, exactly. Lisa Brower, no empathy here, and I was never abused in any way. None. Good. Let's see here. No, Kitty. Okay, yes, Spindle. Lisa Brower, we're very glad you were able to live a life free of abuse. Too many have not. Yeah, exactly. Pia, need to sleep, but I hope all of you have a more peaceful August. Chris, so much kudos to you for helping on your daughter and her friend, by the way. Made me smile. Yeah, absolutely. If you go back, Pia, and rewatch the stream, we actually TLDR, we were able to let them communicate with each other by having them write physical letters to each other and then playing delivery people to make sure that our daughter could drop it off at where person's work and whatnot. So yay for old-fashioned letters, yay for Shakespeare for suggesting that, and yay for them being able to stay in contact until school started, where they now have a class together. So yes, all's well that ends well with that. So yay, but go get some sleep, and good Lord, we actually caught up on all the chat. Yes, I think we are, and we're not done ranting. What the hell is this? Sorry, we just had a notification pop up. You ever make a comment on YouTube, on a video, and then all of a sudden you get all these freaking notifications every time that anybody says something on the comment? And I wish that we could figure out how to turn that off, but unfortunately, every time that we try to do it, it turns off auto reply for all of our comments everywhere, which means we miss your comments. So there was another one anyway. And it was basically a post anyway, so it's not even that important, but it's like, ugh. Anyway, yes, that's so lovely. The Bard, yeah, absolutely. Right on time as well. Yeah, I keep wondering where all the DID channels went. They imploded. The real ones, well, I don't want to say, they imploded. The community went kabooey because people weren't careful and people were stupid. And people who didn't have the foggiest, faintest fucking idea about what DID was really about decided to jump on the bandwagon that was created when Anthony Padilla did his interview and blew everything wide open. Right about the time that we started. No, actually, we started just before that. But anyway, back then when we didn't think that we really had a voice that could say anything in the community. But anyway, so we basically ignored that whole thing. So yeah, we're still here. We're still plugging along. Right on time as well that you're caught up on the comments, that is, yeah. Spindle, I remember there being a lot of drama in the YouTube DID community. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, ouch, Lisa. Or 5. Lisa Brower, they couldn't switch on command or on camera. Yeah, funny that. Spindle, I think it got too popular too fast. Yeah, that's yeah, Spindle, you're dead on. Everybody started jumping on the bandwagon of, oh my God, if I pretend that I have DID, I can make a YouTube channel and suddenly have 10,000 subscribers and make all kinds of money off of YouTube. Once they figured out that was basically dying off and it was a flash in the pan and they couldn't pretend to be DID anymore here without getting called out on it, they all moved to Twitter and TikTok. And now, of course, we're going to be accused of devaluing others experiencing and being elitist and being, whatever the hell term they're tossing around, whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of drama. And you're absolutely dead on the nose. It got popular too fast, Spindle. Lee says, oh, that guy, idiot for sure. Yeah, and I'll need to forgive us, okay? We don't even watch Anthony Padilla, but we've browsed through his content list, and it seems like his entire channel is just basically revolves around him going and spending 24 hours with whatever most controversial or popular person may be. And if that's his thing, great. Just don't do it with the community full of extremely mentally ill and traumatized people. Our 2 cents. But hey, he's doing his things, and at least he was respectful about it. It was the ancillary people that caused all the drama, and that was just the spark that lit the fuse, basically. Let's see here. Awesome NB, yes, and there's still drama. Yeah, absolutely. Multiplicity and me will always be a top favorite of mine. Jessica rocks. Jess never tried to be anything other than that they weren't. They had a great resolution to their story. They moved on to the next part of their journey, and that's fantastic. They're still there and they're still plugging away, but they're doing their own thing, and they kept above all of that crap that went on. So good for them. They're a great channel. We've watched a good deal of their content as well. They seemed relatable. Entropy System really spoke to us personally, and we connected with them personally. But that's cool, wherever people can find truth and support. And yes, I see you laying on the floor asking for pets, but you're behind the camera. So yeah, well, again, we've tried very hard not to comment on that whole aspect of it. But yeah, well, we agree. It doesn't mean, anyway, we agree. Spindle, plus it's also a stressful thing for any mental health sufferer to take on. Like, not every system, not every person is built for YouTube. Just because you have DID doesn't mean you have to be a YouTuber. Amen. Pia, I hope Jess as well. The last that we saw from them, Pia, she was doing fine. Just gotten her, I don't want to say degree or something, but she'd gotten something and is now working in the mental health field, I think as a counselor. We're not sure of the details, so don't take it verbatim, but I do know that they went to school and they got their cert or whatever it was and are now helping out. And so they're doing great as far as we know in their lives. We haven't looked at the channel on Dog's Age, but that was the last that we heard. So, good for them. Hey, they got out there. Functional multiplicity for the win. Ellie, back. The Zoom meeting for your chair is not very long and joined late. Yeah. Nothing that couldn't be covered in a memo, right? Let's see, connected with entropy. Ellie's saying connected with entropy a lot on things, but was before truly knowing how much of a system we are. Yeah, it's and everybody's going to find somebody that speaks to them. Let's see. Ellie says, I meant to ask earlier before leaving about what says we are not a system, but as a huge can of worms as well. Not sure where you went with that, but that's cool. Let's see, 5 Pieces 9 seemed entropy was very close to being all better, and we were very happy for her that the system became so stable and cooperative. Yeah, entropy, they basically hit functional multiplicity as well, or at least to what we name. But they wisely decided to step aside at that point, I think. And I know there was some minor drama swirling around them or something that we didn't really pay attention to or get involved in. But to our eyes and our understanding of the situation at that time, they made the right decision to pull back and close, stop doing YouTube stuff because it was impacting their mental health in a negative fashion, and they made the right decision. So good for them for knowing their limits and then sticking to them. We missed them. It wouldn't be great if they drop a video from now and then, but I know they're on social media, but we don't follow social media because we suck at it and we don't have time. We're not as connected in that way, I guess, as y'all are. But they spoke to us. What they said made sense, when we were desperately looking for answers that made sense. Let's see here. Spindle, Padilla seems to have his heart in the right place and even apologized for having drama involved with this DID episode. Yeah, he did, which is why we're kind of like ambivalent on the whole thing. I don't think he meant to touch off the whole nuclear explosion that he did with that. So yeah, nothing against the guy personally, just not our preferred brand of content. But yeah, he stepped into a landmine without knowing. Let's see. Awesome enemy person. Yes, one day we hope we can be stable and cooperative, but it's hard being polyfragmented and having layers you can't access. Yes, hard mood. Hard mood. Yeah, we get that right there with you. Awesome enemy. Ellie, the constant feeling that I somehow deluded myself into thinking I was a system years ago, and now that is all I know and can't go back. I'm not sure how to speak about it without hitting some feels. If you want to speak about it, speak about it. But again, you're getting into the denial there. And if you've got the trauma, if you have the after effects of the trauma, you've got trauma from someplace. It doesn't just pop into its being on its own. And you can't really fake DID. You can put on the public front, but you can't fake that kind of thing in the long term, which may be why a lot of the channels disappeared. Excuse us, something in our throat. Let's see here. It's not that we don't have opinions about these things. We just don't think it's proper for us to express those opinions because we're not a tea spilling channel. Let's see here. You want that? Go watch Evangelina Scoff. Anyway. But we do understand where you're coming from, Ellie. Spindle, fair share of flashy titles on videos, but the actual handling content when it's not obviously focused on fringe internet community seems well done. Are you addressing us personally, Spindle, or just in general? We're not sure. If you want to clarify, go ahead, but if not, that's cool. Let's see. 5 pieces 9. Alien won't let us get on social media due to the potential risks and drama. Wise choice. Oxymoron saying, I relate so much, Ellie. Let's see. Lisa, our cryptid angel is so sweet. Hope she's okay. Yeah, I haven't seen them post on their channel recently. They might have done. Last time we checked was about 2 weeks ago. We know they watch. So, Encrypted, if you're out there, drop a note or something to let us know that you're all right, would you? Yeah. Spindle saying, Ellie, I think even if you're real or not, the help you're getting is real and working. There you go, Spindle. Let's see here. 5 pieces 9. Same about to Awesome NB. Same about polysystem and lack of communication. Dragons, they're probably fragmented too, and we have so many altars. Keep thinking we must have met them all. Then nope, there are some more. We know that we've got at least a couple more lurking. We don't go poking. Let's see. Spindle, you can't fake DID to yourself. That's the main thing. You can't really fake anything yourself, really. Yeah, more or less. Let's see, very relatable dragons. Witchy, I've gone right off Evangelina now. I didn't mind her at first. Don't like her content at all anymore. Haven't watched in forever. But she did seem to have an unerring instinct to keep her finger on top of the current events. But yeah, just kind of, I don't know. She went her own direction, which is cool. But to be honest, during that time period, it was the only way that we could keep track of half the crap that was going on. And we still didn't even understand that because it was just like, okay, this is on DID. What's going on? Okay, get 5 minutes in. And it's like, okay, we don't care about this. And click away. So, I don't know, just focus of interest. Oh, no, I was finishing my sentence on Padilla, not you, Infinity. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spindle. Oh, Padilla, yeah, flashy titles on videos, actually. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's like, as a YouTuber, you kind of have to you make your video titles a little bit, I don't want to say clickbaity, but kind of jump out. Ours tend to be not like, we don't clickbait, and our titles always are descriptive. They may have like little in references or something like that. It's like, I'm not sure if anybody caught it or not, but our section on DID and drugs and whatnot. Our first part was called Comfortably Numb, and the second part was called Just the Basic Facts. Both of those are lines taken from the Pink Floyd song Comfortably Numb, which is all about mental illness. Most of the album The Wall is all about mental illness, and the characters, Pinks, struggle with it. So, little in things like that, but we try not to be clickbaity. Sometimes we wonder if our titles are actually too damn dry, So maybe a snide reference, but nothing, out of the way there. So let's see here. Oxymoron, too many alters here too. Don't know if we're polyfragmented, but I don't seem to know anything anymore recently. We feel you, hard mood. Let's see, Lisa's saying, I wish knew more of your story, 5, but respect your need to share as you can. Yeah, and we're very proud of Five's system, the whole system there, for choosing to start their channel and tell their story in their own way. We think that's great, and we encourage all of you to do the same. Use your voice. Don't let yourself be silenced by other people or by your own fears. Make that jump. 5 Pieces of Mind did. We're very proud of them to do that. Okay, so let's see here. Ellie's saying there's a chance we were polyfragmented, but things are just so disorganized. I feel like myself is a system that switches each time we sleep while the others don't front so much. Yeah, we can't even pretend to sort out who does what. That's one of our main places of interest, is it's like who has been doing what and dealing with what over the course of our lives, and yeah, it's confusing AF. Let's see here. The Circadian saying, I also think Padilla is generally good at handling stuff and very respectful of people, despite what the thumbnail suggests. Yeah. Let's see. Ellie's saying the best mood shifts for each day where I have strong emotional connection with denial or doubt, then another day before completely unaware of system stuff, and another completely curious. Let's see here. Let's see, Blue Rose. We clicked everyone away when first searching, except you, Chris. We don't really know the others you are all talking about. We feel lucky not to know any of the drama, and we are only very directly indirectly alluding to the whole pile of crap that went on them, because it is insanely complicated, and we do not recommend that anybody attempts to go and untangle that. It's dead, it's done, it's buried. Let it die. Just let it stay there. And we have not commented on it other than the videos that we made and a few ancillary comments like at the live streams in relation to them, because we keep true to our word. We said that that's all we're going to say about that, and that's all that we will say about that, except to reiterate our same points. So yes, thank you for that, Blue Rose. We're glad that you found a place that spoke to you. And guys, if you ever find a channel that, it's like you're just not into us or anything, go ahead and go whatever. You've got all the freedom. It's cool. We're glad you're here, though. Let's see. Pia and Lisa are expressing their support. 5. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Spindle says, I understand the need for things to grab attention. It's like any other piece of medium. People can be as flashy and click drawing as you need, as long as the content doesn't lie. Well, we don't. Just share. Let's see. Pia says, commiserating with oxymoron. I do manage pretty well. Litchi, it's the hell of a rabbit hole that needs to stay filled. Yeah. So much for how you share, so it's impactful for the moving record. 5. Yes, C5, it's not just us. They all believe in you too. So yeah, much respect. Yeah, believe what your people are telling you, what your viewers and ours are telling you. You have a story. You have the right to share it in the way that you want, and you're doing it, and that's great. Well, let's see. Spindle's saying at 5 pieces 9, I feel like most people would want to hear more of your story. It's just on you what you feel safe and comfortable sharing. Yes, and Lisa Brower says exactly, Spindle. Absolutely dead on the nose. Okay, let's see. We started at 1, so 2, so 3. We've gone on about 2 hours and 15 minutes, guys. We are going to go ahead and close it out. If you have any additional questions or comments or anything that you want us to blather on about, drop them now, because otherwise we're going to close out the stream, because we're still kind of keyed up over the stuff that happened this morning and just everything. It's been a rough month for everyone, and plus we also need to finish our smoothie, and just, yeah, we need to go do our qigong and calming tools and whatnot before we spin further out during the day. So anywho, so yeah, so much support for 5 pieces 9. Thank you guys for doing that, and more so because you mean it. See, let's see, it's quite dark, so we'll have to be slow for the potential viewers to be able to fathom it. Yeah, and it's okay, 5, if you don't want to do, if whatever, it's your story and you have the right to tell it any way you want. Leave out what you want, put in what you want. But yeah, you got people that care about you, so, and support you. Hesitation due to the narc nature, but if you put the warnings, it's all fair game. Whenever and wherever you want. 5 left to everyone. Oh, hello, Das Origin Shaft. Goodbye. I get the feeling you've probably been lurking. Let's see. Hope everyone has a better month. See you all next month. Sending positive energy to everyone. Bye, everyone. Have a good day, night. Goodbye, guys. Okay, and as always, remember, you are loved, you are strong, and that you are not alone. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Closing out the stream, let's see, next coming up for next month, we'll probably be doing a part 2 to the Echoes from the Darkness, where we go into detail and explain what sleep paralysis is and some things that might help to mitigate it and whatnot, like we normally do, try to give you some tips and tricks. There's another episode of Little Stories that's already in the can, and just I need to edit and get out, so that'll probably be happening next month. Other than that, we don't really have anything on the slate. Mimi would like some time. Rosemary will probably appear somewhere around the holidays. She's been thinking about putting together like a holiday cooking special or whatever. We don't know. So that's where we're at right now, what we've got coming up. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, for supporting us, for supporting each other. And we'll catch you on the flip side. All right, Chris and Infinity System signing off.